Hello and welcome to another episode of the E-commerce Coffee Break podcast. Today we want to talk into a topic that every merchant should have on the list. It's the economy overall. So we want to talk about the topic on how to survive a recession and thrive and make the best out of it. With me on the show today to talk about this is Mario Peshev. He is a business advisor, fractional CXO, CEO of Rush, DevriX, GrowthShuttle, and other products. He's also an angel investor of SeedBlink in Bulgaria and ambassador of Flipper in Bulgaria. He has been in web development and business space for over 17 years, and on a day-to-day basis, he's wearing different hats from working with tech teams to creating business solutions for Shopify and WooCommerce vendors. So he has a very vast background in running a business, and that's one we want to talk about. Hi, Mario. How are you today?
Doing great, Klaus, and thanks for the intro. I think I should probably hire you for my next PR person, so if you're open for that gig.
Mario, we are all business owners and we are all sort of victims of what is happening in the world right now. And it seems that we are a bit in for a rocky road ahead. From your perspective, what do you think is happening right now with the economy, with recession, with inflation? Just give me a bit of an idea.
Yeah, totally. So as you mentioned, I'm involved with a number of different businesses, right? On the one hand, it's Rush, which is a Shopify app, and we have over 2,700 stores. On the other end, there's DevriX, and we remain some of the largest publishers on the planet, including affiliate and e-commerce. Also as a business advisor, I work with hundreds of businesses. So I have a pretty diverse perspective and kind of an outlook of the general macroeconomy, and it's something that I like to kind of do for fun, even though it's not the funniest thing for most people out there. But on the bright side, honestly, the thing is, looking into the latest macro results, looking into how the Fed has slowed down the interest rate increases lately, even though they still did a 0.25% just a week ago, we are actually in a pretty good state right now. And I just want to reassure everyone else listening to the podcast that despite everything that has happened over the past year, despite the several waves of layoffs among the largest companies out there, the major drop of S&P 500, we are in a really good state right now. For example, just taking a look at the Q2 data that was just released in late in July and early in August, Meta just reported 11% revenue growth. And as we know, Meta is primarily making money off of ads, and ads are coming from brands trying to advertise their businesses, which in result means that maintaining the same cost per click for the most part on Meta's end, businesses, brands, stores, publishers, DTCs, manufacturers, everyone else, 3PLs are still investing 11% heavier as compared to last year in Q2 this year. That's one thing. Alphabet, which is Google, and this includes Google and YouTube, they exceeded expectations, both on top and bottom lines. And the Google Cloud revenue is also up by 28%, which again, in turn means that more businesses are signing up and hosting on Google Cloud, and also everyone using any form of Google Cloud resource, including BigQuery, which is a main machine for delivering data and storing and aggregating data. Again, that's also growing in Q2. Shopify, of course, everyone's interested in that, reported 31% growth in total revenue and cash flow. And it's also cash flow positive for the third quarter in a row, right? Amazon, once again, they just had Prime Day, mid of July, and the Prime Day numbers were record high this year. I think they generated about 375 million orders over the course of 48 hours, up from 300 million last year, right? So it's over 20%, 24% or so increase compared to what they did last year. So all things considered, when you look at the general macro, people are still spending, businesses are still spending on ads, consumer intents and behaviors are still up in the air. And we are in for a pretty good rest of 2023. The last thing I just want to remind is that normally Q4 is the strongest period of the year for everyone in e-commerce, meaning that considering we are just about to enter Q4, we should be pretty safe up until the end of the year. And unless there are any surprises, Q1 should be, again, slower than Q4, of course, but hopefully not as bad. But at the very least, the rest of this year should be smooth sailing onward.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm in Argentina right now, and they have sort of hyperinflation here. It's kind of interesting because the economy here is actually booming. So the money gets devalued in a very, very fast rate, and everyone is shopping.
Yeah.
Restaurants are full. Everyone is carrying around shopping bags because people think I rather buy today because tomorrow it will be more expensive.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if that's going to happen next year. We might see something like that. Now, there's obviously certain industries that do better than others right now, and that applies for e-commerce as well. From your perspective, working with so many businesses, do you see specific verticals or industries that have a good time and some that are have a struggle right now?
Absolutely. So the jewelry market, bracelets, beauty, cosmetics, all of that is still booming, which is, I would say it's slightly interesting because normally it's kind of more on the luxurious, or it's kind of higher on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. But at the end of the day, this is still a market that's still booming, and all of our stores, especially on the rush end, are generating extremely incredible results right now. Apparel is going down. All forms of clothing are generally going down from what we see, primarily due to the fact that after 3 years of a recession, people are trying to go out more and just spend kind of more time trying out clothes and also not really deal with any of the specific risks of returns. And wrong sizing, wrong clothing, wrong clothing in itself are some of the specific problems that most people are dealing with, which is why the kind of clothing industry is slightly worse than it kind of used to be. Groceries are up from what we see. Again, consolidated data of over 400 million in GMV that we managed last year, and more or less the same what we do this year. Is groceries are still up, and that's primarily due to the inflation, right? So the GMV is definitely up due to the inflation. The volume is slightly down because of the end of the pandemic, but it's more or less still the same and slightly growing. So these are some of the patterns that we see. There's some seasonality as well. For instance, in April and May, we saw a lot of growth in the outdoor industry, right? Anything for your garden, for your patio, for anything else that's kind of outdoors. This was a pretty strong, pretty significant category out there. And another thing, again, that we see right now is indoors kind of home accessories, kitchen, any additional stuff for indoors, because again, summer is going to be over soon and people are preparing just to kind of renovate or kind of add additional accessories to their homes.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned before that people are still buying, and Q4 obviously is the strongest quarter of the year, and merchants should be by now ready with their strategy, what's happening in these 3 months to make the most out of it. But you can also sort of make your business more resilient for a recession. And so there's some strategies around that. Tell me about how you would do that.
I would say that one of the key things and my rules of thumb is diversification, right? Whatever you do, regardless of whether you're in DTC and kind of building a strong brand or in drop shipping, make sure that you have make sure that you diversify as best as possible. I'm going to give a specific example here. One of the challenges that I deal with as an advisor speaking to different store owners is they have one source of traffic and one specific website, probably one or two specific products or SKUs that are killing it, right? They're generating over 80, sometimes over 90% of their revenue. And that's great up until it isn't. Just earlier today, I heard from a friend who they woke up and got their Facebook account banned due to a random post they posted, or they may or may not have posted. It could have been a bot, or their account got hacked, or it's something they posted as a comment and got flagged, whatever it is. So their account got banned. And we know that Meta is the key channel for generating revenue and sales for most stores. So imagine you wake up one day, Meta has banned your account. You may have to appeal. It may work eventually, but you're probably going to be disconnected for like at least a week. And that's a pretty frightening thought in itself. So most people are dealing with, once again, one source of traffic, one specific store or kind of a brand, and one or two specific products that they're dealing with. So first and foremost, diversification is key. Make sure you expand the number of SKUs or expand the number of products if you can. And especially if you're in drop shipping, just launch different stores, right? We work with drop shippers that own 10, 15, even 20 different stores, especially on the Rush side, because Rush is supporting so many different things for dropshippers, in particular on the Shopify end. But lots of, again, entrepreneurs launching 20 different stores, right? One is for electronics, one is for, some beauty stuff, one is for outdoors, one is for jewelry, one is for beard oil, right? Different SKUs for different kind of products, just to diversify. So that's kind of one thing. In terms of channels, if you're on Meta, look into TikTok, look into influencer marketing, look into SEO, look into brand attribution. And kind of the last thing is, again, I always advise, regardless of whether you're brand first or more about the traditional drop shipping, which is, we launch something, we scale, and then we can launch 50 other different stores. Building a brand is always helpful because you retain your audience in the long run, right? They're going to stick around. They're going to convert better. They're going to support you. There's, in some cases, especially in terms of in times of recession, we've seen people prioritizing their favorite brand just so that they can support that, even if it means cutting on alcohol or going out or anything like that, right? Just the sheer support, being a true fan of a specific brand or specific product, is so helpful that they can literally save you in times of recession. So definitely think about it.
Yeah, we're definitely on the same page there. So diversification, I also pray that to everyone, probably the most important thing you can do. It comes with the drawback that a lot of smaller and solopreneurs, small and medium enterprise, they only have the skill set built up for one specific ad platform, for Facebook ads or for Google ads, and then they struggle. So, but it's definitely worth to find ways to test all the other platforms and see where your audience is. Now, I like that you say build up your followership, your super fans, because they will carry you through the bad times. Looking into a little bit of strategies on how you can facilitate apps or solutions on your website, on your store, like pay later features. What do you think would work to basically draw people in for a long term into your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are several things here. So first off, in terms of brand building, I think that lots of store owners are undervaluing and underappreciating the importance of building their own personal brand. And that's something that's really unique to the e-commerce space, right? So as someone who also runs other businesses and is an angel investor, speaks to investors and journalists and other CEOs and managers and so on, I spend a good chunk of my time on LinkedIn, right? So I go on LinkedIn, look at brands, look at people, and essentially that's kind of how we connect and grow. Alternatively, I spend time on Twitter because lots of the VCs and angel investors and also store owners and startup founders, including Shopify app founders and journalists, which is essentially media and PR, are also on Twitter, right? So these are the two networks that I use. And again, I understand there are lots of Facebook communities, there are Discord communities, there's Instagram. So I'm also there, even though not as active, but I'm always surprised how hard it is sometimes to find a store owner or even a store page just listed out there, right? Several examples. Yesterday, I wanted to connect with a store owner that signed up for our Shopify app just because they were local. I knew they were in Bulgaria, so I just wanted to kind of reach out to them. And I couldn't, right? I knew the founder's name. I couldn't find them online. I found their Facebook page. It had 0 posts whatsoever, right? They were generating, say, $500,000 in GMV, but they were nowhere to be found, right? No LinkedIn, no Twitter, no nothing, right? Another example is we had a partner agency that signed up with us probably 3 months ago, and they signed up one store, another store. We generated so much revenue for their clients that they signed up another 10 stores over the course of probably 6 weeks. So I just wanted to send them a gift, right? It took us probably a week to get their office details in order to ship. And even knowing their office details, I just sent them a basket yesterday, by the way, with champagne and cheese and biscuits and all that fancy stuff, just as a gratitude gift, right? Just supporting us and kind of loving what to do. But it is so hard just finding these people online. Now I have their names and phone numbers and address and companies, but I can still find nothing about them. So, bottom line, I digress a bit, but it's so it's so important. It makes so much difference building a brand to be recognizable, to be known for something, that it carries so much value that there's hardly any reason to avoid that. So this is probably going to be kind of one of the key things I would like to mention. You also brought up buy now, pay later. That's definitely a thing in 2023, right? It's growing, it's booming. There's specific industry, specific categories. On the one hand, we have teenagers, well, late teenagers, college students and so on in their early 20s. They cannot afford some stuff, but they like it, right? So they're trying to spread around and do the credit card alternative nowadays, which is buy now, pay later. Nothing wrong about that if they're, cautious consumers in the future. There's also people trying to buy new equipment or trying to make use of specific deals like cheaper laptops or cheaper tablets or so that they can possibly use for work, right? And they simply cannot afford that yet. So right now, there are around 360 million buy now, pay later users, right? The market itself is worth over $150 billion. So we definitely shouldn't neglect that. So all things considered, lots of things that people can do, especially store owners and about drop shippers and brands and print on demand and everyone else in between. And kind of one of the easiest things, again, speaking as a Shopify app owner, is setting up Rush. We've seen that first and foremost, it generates an average 2 to 7% increase in GMV and average order value for our store owners, right? You set it up. Tracking page comes with recommended widgets, with bundles and products and upsells and so forth. That alone, just setting it up, gets 2 to 7% increase in average order value. That's one thing. Our higher tier customers get access to Klaviyo workflows. These flows have been tried and tested, and we know that on average, we get a 5x return on investment over the first 30 days. In fact, some of these agencies that I've been mentioning, setting up users, they send the screenshots 48 hours, 72 hours later saying, oh my God, guys, what we see is $2,000 or more generating extra revenue just from the flows alone, right? So we have Klaviyo, we have the upsells on the page, and that's an easy win. We have several, of our brands like Primal Harvest, like Burger, like some of the other players that we work with. Some of them have reported over 2,000% ROI. Now, imagine spending $100 and, getting 20x, right? Just getting $2,000 back. Investing $1,000, getting 20 grand back. If we were able to do that in real life outside of e-commerce, everyone would be a millionaire overnight just because it's now possible. So what I'm saying is, again, Rush is one of the solutions that it's kind of set and forget, and our team can definitely help you out with that. That's one of the solutions, but look into other alternatives and other options to just provide better user experience to your customers, right? Abandoned carts, again, reasons Klaviyo, Omnisend, and everyone is important. Abandoned carts are increasing additional revenue for you, right? Surveys, all that kind of wheel of fortune type of thing, so that you can capture emails or capturing SMS, the ability to send, follow-up emails and campaigns, make use of all the, back to school campaigns. Now we have Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Christmas. There's so many different holidays in between that people need to tap into. One of the things, for instance, and I mentioned Prime Day a bit earlier on the Amazon end. Again, Amazon generated, shipped over 375 million orders over the course of 2 days. And speaking to Shopify owners, I'm saying, are you ready for Prime Day? And they're, no, this is a Shopify holiday. This is an Amazon holiday. And like, what are you talking about? People are out there ready for a major holiday. Amazon has invested, maybe over 50 million or so in advertising to make sure they are ready for this day, and you're not tapping into that opportunity. At the same time, I'm giving a call to an APA aggregator, right? A business running over 100 different brands, and I'm asking them, are you ready for Prime Day? And we sure are. Half of our stores already have banners and deals up and discounts and all of that because it's the same holiday for the shopping period, right? So yeah, again, I can ramble about that probably for hours, but so many additional opportunities. Just zoom out a little bit, take a look at the broader e-commerce ecosystem. It's so diverse, right? See what happens in WooCommerce, see what happens in Amazon, in Etsy, in Walmart, in Target. They run different campaigns, they compete with each other. And just learn from them, right? Try to get the best practices for different systems and services and apps and brands and everyone. And this is really going to help you elevate and optimize everything for your digital business.
Whoa, there's so much good tips in there. So want to take one step back. Obviously, being present with your contact details in the market is so important on so different, many levels. First of all, on your website, and I see that a lot, specifically on dropshipping stores, they're sort of trying to hide you. There's no contact details whatsoever. That does not really build trust. That does not really help you with building up enough trust to build a brand. So you should have your contact details on your website with who's behind the company, who runs the show, maybe even who's the founder, and so on and so forth. And on the other end, as you said, be as a founder, as an entrepreneur, be public on LinkedIn, on Twitter, as you said, because that helps you. Sometimes even if things do not go well, if you need a co-financer, if you need to have another partner, whatsoever, if you have built a network there, it will definitely help you to reach out and find the right person to help you with whatever challenge you have in your business. I have plenty of examples on how that works in a positive favor for you. Now, before we come to the end of the coffee break today, is there anything you want to share with the listeners that we haven't covered yet?
I really love your comments on branding. And again, I just want to reiterate. So if you take a look at, again, what my Twitter feed looks like, right? This morning, looking into the founder of Rich, looking for a content strategist and willing to pay $1 million for them, right? We have, founders of Gymshark or Woody or any of the top famous popular brands. There's Nick Sharma, who's so active out there, right? This is Twitter and LinkedIn and all the other networks. So there's a reason why the guys that we admire and we learn from are so loud out there. They're publicly available. They speak so much. They preach so much, right? And not trying to learn from them is counterintuitive. So that's probably the only thing. It's nothing new. It's more about food for thought. Why does everyone successful spend so much time online? Because this is the way to connect, especially after 3 years of pandemic. So many people who weren't as active online are now online and they're already used to just being approachable, available. There are also specific, specific services such as, what was it? It was Mastermind, Masterclass, just forgot the name of it, but you can actually reach out to these D2C influencers and speak with them and connect with them. Masterpass, yes, this was it. So go on Masterpass, you can speak to some of the brightest minds on the planet. So right now, these people are spending more time online. They're at the tip of your fingers, and just building brand awareness means that you're going to be more visible, more recognizable, more trustworthy, and expand your network as a result.
Mm-hmm. Now, with your vast experience, you're helping your clients. Tell me a little bit about who is your client and how do you help?
Well, that probably depends on the different businesses that they're dealing with. But to sum it up, my main focus is working with different businesses from the broader Shopify, Amazon, e-commerce ecosystem, right? We work with software as a service, we work with data companies, we work with 3PLs, we work with manufacturers, we work with factories, and we're just trying to build that bundle. My personal philosophy is that the e-commerce is a broader industry. And as I said earlier, most people are just kind of trying to niche into one very specific thing. Well, that's not how it works. We partner up with other people, right? On the Rural Shop, we have partnership managers. We have people who build relationships with other app founders, with agencies, with team developers, with PPC people, with conversion rate optimizers, with everyone else, because we want to make sure that whenever we connect to someone, right, a Shopify store, a 3PL, someone who wants a kind of a deeper, broader integration, we want to make sure that whatever problems they face, we can include them as a bundle for them. Like say, hey, we can set up Rush for you, for example, right? But on top of that, hey, did you know that you can set up, Be Profit for dashboards? And by the way, in top of Clearview, you can also do retention.com for, acquiring additional revenue from that. And we have a conversion rate optimizing expert. Here's an agency for that. Here's for that. So we want to be our mission is just supporting businesses and supporting brands by all means with whatever they need. Because again, we've been in business long enough, and I myself, again, have been in business for almost 20 years now. So I have had that fight already. I've walked the walk, and I know what businesses are struggling with, right? On my own blog, I have the 38 biggest business challenges that companies face at different points in time. This is something that got picked up by over 30 universities out there, right? I get reached out by Northeastern and by so many universities just using that as a resource. So again, helping other people out, just being more present, being more public is not a bad thing. Like even if you feel that drop shipping is just buying something, from Asia and selling to the States, that's not necessarily it, right? You're providing opportunities. You're giving the ability for people to reach and learn about these products because otherwise they wouldn't, to get an opportunity to get clear, transparent shipping, connect with you, get the best offers, the best deals, because people are lazy. Don't forget that people are lazy. Again, many price conscious shoppers, but people are generally lazy. So understanding that means that you being the go-to place to provide these opportunities, provide these products is not a bad thing. And you can actually even get to the point where you charge high ticket drop shipping items instead of just trying to beat to the race to the bottom. So again, some food for thought here.
No, that's very, very true. Mario, where can people find out more about you?
My personal website is mariopeshev.com. People can look up Mario Peshev on LinkedIn, on Twitter, which I spend most of my time. Again, for Shopify stuff, rush.app is our own app. And feel free to reach out personally if you have any follow-up questions. But it was definitely a pleasure, Klaus. And thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about the broader ecosystem once again.
Absolutely. I will put the links in the show notes, then you're just one click away. And thanks for giving us an overview. I think the future is bright for e-commerce. No one should be scared for what's coming. And if you really, to our listeners, if you really want to talk to someone who knows what's happening out there and needs some help, then please reach out to Mario. Thanks so much for your time today, and talk soon.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Hey, Klaus here. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Before we wrap things up, I've got a couple of important points to share. Firstly, if you have enjoyed today's episode and want to support the show, here's a simple way to do it. Help me out with that algorithm magic by liking, commenting, and subscribing on your favorite podcast app. And if you're feeling extra generous, leaving a rating would be great. Your support helps me bringing more impactful guests on the show, and it makes it easier for others to discover the podcast. Secondly, I want to talk about to all your business owners out there. Here's a question. Are you tired of juggling everything in your business while struggling with your marketing tasks? Fed up with hit and miss experiences of hiring freelancers or agencies that don't quite get your vision? But perhaps you're not ready to commit to a full-time in-house marketer just yet. Well, I've got a solution for you. Introducing our fractional marketing team. My team and I provide top-notch experienced marketing professionals to become an extension of your business. Not only will they save you up to 50% on cost compared to traditional hires, but they also take care of all this time-consuming, repetitive and complex marketing tasks that have been holding you back. And this way you can concentrate on what truly matters, the core of your business. To learn more about how we can help you to scale up your online sales with a fractional team member, head over to our website, smart-ecommerce-marketing.com, or reach out to me directly and I'll get you the details. You will find the links in the show notes. Thanks for being a part of our podcast community, and remember, your support means the world to me. Until next time, see you then.